Hello there, audience. I'm your host, James Tate. That's Kyle Nilsson, and we are here for episode 21 of the Gilson and Nold podcast series.
And this
Yes.
is going to be the last podcast until late December or early January.
Yeah, we're going to be in for the long haul. No worries about that. So let's just jump straight into it. We're not going to be really recapping week 11, so it's on the screen right here.
Yeah, you see, worst game of the week, game of the week. As you can see, we share the same opinion. This week kind of sucked.
It sucked. It sucked. I mean, this week was it didn't help that I was also busy this for Sunday as well. Saturday was much more interesting.
I mean,
Um,
you benefited from it. You missed out on a really weak week.
True. So now we're going to move into our coaches of the year. I think we both have three candidates.
Yep, I originally had four, but then I decided against who the fourth guy is.
So I'm going to let you start first. I'm sort of curious who your first coach in Canada for coach of the year is.
I'm gonna build this up. I'm gonna go from the one that has good stuff going for them versus someone that has a lot of stuff going for them. So I'm gonna start off with Pete Carroll for Coach of the Year. Seahawks last year only had a 7-10 record, which is not good at all. But this year they're already 6-4. They're only one win away from tying last year's record. And if I put the stat here, I did not. Whoops. I meant to put a stat. Oh yeah, they were projected to win 5 games this season. They've already passed 5 games with 6 wins, and they look to get more. And that's due to the help of Geno Smith, which is probably what helps Pete's case a lot. But Geno Smith has been something unbelievable. A lot of people question why Russell Wilson, got traded from the Seahawks. I mean, it was kind of clear why Russell Wilson wanted to go, but then it became Drew Lock versus Geno Smith, and the amount of hate Pete Carroll got prior to the season starting Geno, and now Geno Smith is currently at 2,474 yards, 17 touchdowns, 4 receptions, and 115.1 rating. His
I'll be
high.
honest. I'll be honest. A lot of that hate for Gino came from me.
I mean, you can't blame him because this was his highest stat ever before in 2014. 2,525 yards, 13 touchdowns, 13 picks, 77.5 rating. This isn't something that's like a one season type of thing. There's no way this is like a one season type of thing. This has to be Geno Smith finally showing his talents because he got the right coach finally. And I honestly think Russell Wilson going has benefited the Seahawks a lot from hearing how Russell Wilson pretty much was trying to hand out all this credit, after each game. One of the Seahawks players typed that down.
Yeah.
Like a bad environment went away. Another thing that is just absolutely impressive is that last year they had the 16th ranked offense, only scoring 395 points. But this year, they're already 5th ranked with 257 points. Geno Smith is leading a top 5 offense currently. What?
That is admittedly very impressive. No denying that.
It is another thing that this Seahawks team, because they benefited with Russell Wilson trade, they benefited with this a lot. Getting Tariq Woolen, this guy, he's a rookie, but he has done so much. 34 total tackles, 2 fumble recoveries, 9 pass deflections, 5 interceptions, 1 defensive touchdown, all because Russ went. Those picks helped out a lot, and they got this young guy right here that could possibly help the Seahawks defense. Why I did not mention the Seahawks defense in here is because Seahawks defense is actually downgraded a lot from last season. But with addition like Woolen and hopefully more young guys to come, I think the Seahawks have a bright future, and that's why I have Pete Carroll as least number 1 guy so far. But he's the weakest out of the 3 I have here. But there's my reasons why Pete could be Coach of the Year.
My weakest contender is he sort of hasn't had a lot of steam, but I feel like he needs a little bit of love because the fact that this team keeps on rolling, considering how they look, is impressive. Mine is Mike Vrabel.
Ooh.
This guy does not get talked about enough. Yes, people can joke about the Derrick Henry train and this, that, and the other, but the fact only 3 teams have stopped it, and most of those teams were very early on in the season, whenever they're still trying to do fancy dancy stuff. Mind-boggling, right? The fact of their offense of production compared to their defense. Their defense is top 10 in the league in terms of points allowed, right? I mean, they're not allowing anybody to score.
That is true.
Their offense is so weak, but They have the number 13 ranked rushing offense, which is weird to think because they have Derrick Henry on there, but also it makes sense. They barely move downfield. They barely get past 24 points.
That's so true, though.
So this team should be so bad. They should be down in the gutter with the Broncos with how they look. But there's a key difference. Mike Vrabel, he's able to manage to blend the team together, keep them together, stop egos from construding one another, and the team has a single goal, and that's let Derrick Henry run and do a couple play action plays every now and then.
Feed Henry.
And hey, you can't say their defense isn't great whenever it took Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball 60 fucking times for the Chiefs to win.
And they had to win the leagues.
And they had to do it in overtime too. So that's impressive. And that's why he's my number 3.
My second guy, who definitely has a strong thing going for him, Nick Sirianni. Hopefully I said that right. The head coach of the Eagles. So I should have mentioned before the head coach from the previous team was fucking Seahawks, but I think everyone knows that. So Nick, he has a lot of things going for him. Well, technically last year he improved the Eagles from a 4-11-1 record from 2020 to a 9-8 record after starting off 3-6, which is already impressive enough from last season, but this season is a whole different level. He's already at 9-1, which was the projected wins the Eagles were supposed to get this year. So they've already tied that. Not only that, they tied their wins from last year at fucking 9-8, which was last year. It's just crazy. But that's not the only thing that has improved crazily here. It's Jalen Hurts. You know, the addition of A.J. Brown and C.J. Gardner-Johnson for defense and A.J. Brown's offense have been two important factors into this team and their success. Kind of like the Titans, it's not that Eagles struggle to score past 20. It's just more the fact that at one point Eagles slow down in the game. Like they start off hot, if not they close off hot, but they never stay like that for 4 quarters, which is why Nick's not going to be my top guy here. But he still has a lot going from Jalen Hurts. I just want to mention here, last season, 3,144 yards, 16 touchdowns, 9 receptions, 106.5 rating. This season, it's just mind-blowing. 2,407 yards, which will definitely grow. 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 106.5 rating. Obviously with the help of offensive coordinator Shane Schnecky, guy who also helped Justin Herbert as well. Nick runs a really good team here. Great defensive coordinator, great offensive coordinators, you know. He runs a really good team here. And also, I think the biggest improvement of them all is the offensive defense, which is the last thing I'm going to mention here. The offensive last year, 444 points, 12th ranked. Defense was 18th ranked, allowing 385 points. This year, it is mind-blowing how much this has changed. The offense is 4th ranked for 2022, 263 points. Defense is 7th ranked, just allowing 183 points. And that is why Nick, for me, has the possibility of becoming Coach of the Year.
Well, my number 2 guy, a very strong candidate for me at the very least, Pete Carroll. I mean, you listed off all the reasons that this team has drastically improved ever since Russell Wilson left, and this just shows that whenever egos get checked before you enter the door, you can do a lot of good. If the Seahawks can somehow manage to make it to the NFC Championship game, just give it to him. Honestly,
and give Geno Smith fucking MVP. Fuck it, why not?
I mean, at this point, yeah, because this Seahawks team is doing something that I expected the Seahawks to win 2 games this year.
Same.
2. And they've far outreached my expectations for them, even before the Broncos made that dumb decision to kick a, 60-yard field goal, 64-yard field goal in week 1?
That was not the Seahawks, that was the Broncos who did that.
Well, no, I said the Broncos, that's why I meant. They far outreached my expectations from that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's just wild to think that this team has really turned around in a short amount of time. And as I said, I believe that part of it is the wide receivers. DK Metcalf is being a good role player. Everyone's really a good role player, but there's one star that I want to mention. You mentioned Geno Smith. I want to mention Kenneth Walker III.
Oh, that's a good one.
This man is a beast. I said it whenever he got drafted. This guy was going to do great things. He was doing great things in Michigan State. It just depended on the team he was going to go to, and the fact that this team needs to rise him up in the run as I hear knocking down in the background. That just shows how powerful Kenneth Walker III is. His spirit's still running into Nilsson's bedroom and knocking shit down. That's the power of Kenneth Walker III, right? So, yeah, Pete Carroll.
Another thing, Tyler Lockett, major guy to mention. He's really important for the Seahawks offense. Now, I think we both have the same last guy. I think my last guy, who I think is the strongest guy, it should have been one that wins it, Brian Dable.
Yeah, Brian Daboll.
I mean, come on. Firstly, the comparison I've done so far. Their last year Giants were 4-13. 4-13.
They're 7-3 now.
And they had the 31st ranked offense and 23rd ranked defense last year. And this year, this is crazy. It may not seem like crazy, but 21st ranked offense this season and the 13th ranked defense this season. It may not seem crazy, but to go from one of the worst to kind of getting towards mid with offense and defense creeping towards top 10, that's
impressive. I mean, for me, how it is, I think they sort of made themselves notice after they beat the Titans in week 1, but like, it's one of those things where Brian Daboll, he has a certain way with the players where they respect him, but they're not scared of him.
They do. I mean, the way he does his practices, he has everybody practice. Everybody gets a shot. And whoever does the best plays. And all the players love that system. It's such a different environment from previous years. Even with Tom Coughlin, honestly.
Let's not forget Joe Judge had his defensive backs' hands taped to boxing mittens to stop them from causing pass interference. And in hindsight, it was a horrible decision.
But thank God he made that decision because it led to Brian right now.
Yeah, and think about it this way. The funny thing is Brian Daboll sort of came up with a lot of controversy because remember Belichick texted Flores? And we know for a fact Belichick did that shit on purpose.
Of course he did. Bill's petty.
So the fact that Daboll's proving that he actually is a great head coach and not just a hire just for, to avoid someone else from getting the job, just that goes a long way.
And I want to mention, the biggest two things of this team, Barkley and Jones. These two have improved so damn much from last year. You're not even going to believe when I show these stats to you. I'm going to start with Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones is crazy, but Barkley's is just wow. Daniel Jones last season, 2,428 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, 7 picks, 84.8 rating. But Daniel Jones this season, 1,947 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4 picks, 89.9 rating. And we're not even done with the season yet. Another thing with Jones is that Daboll has been able to take advantage of, Daniel Jones' legs. Have him throw it when it matters most. And it's not one of those things where Daniel Jones is just not throwing the ball much. No, he's throwing really good balls. Like, he's throwing really good passes. There we go. That's a better way to say it. He's throwing...
Yeah.
And honestly, I think Daniel Jones is going to keep getting better from here. I mean, my gosh. But the guy that really improved is Barkley. Someone who was very injury-prone up to this season, and a lot of people kind of gave up on him. Hell, I was even making jokes about him on the first podcast, and clearly I was off. Last season, 162 carries, 593 yards, 3.7 average, 2 touchdowns for last season. This season, you are going to be mind-blowing. 200... Oh, wait. Did I mention... 33.7 per carry. Just remember that. This season, 213 carries, 953 yards, 4.5 average per attempt, 6 touchdowns. He has not played like this in a long time.
In fact, that's actually something I want to bring up. The last season where he played the entire season, this was his stats: 261 yards rushing, 1,307 yards, 261 rush attempts, not yards rushing, 1,307 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns, and 5 yards per attempt.
But this season, there's no injuries, there's no fear. He's improved a lot. And honestly, Brian is the strongest guy to win it for me.
Yeah, him or Nick Sirianni, honestly.
Gotta repeat.
Now on to who I think the 4 teams for the college football playoffs will be. Now, this is something to note. This probably won't happen because of multiple reasons. Either
Biases.
not even biases, because either A, the Pac-12 will cannibalize itself like they always do. B, a team will lose and a team will win, and then there's going to be 2 teams that you don't want there to be there, but only you don't want one of those teams to be there. Or C, biasness.
Oh, would you look at that?
So let's start off with number 4. I think TCU will do it. They had a very close near win against Baylor. Baylor's a good team, right? They're 6-5, right? But came down to the final field goal, 29-28. Many people think that they shouldn't be in there just because of that game. No, that shows that they should be in there. They're winning games that they need to win. This is the first time TCU's been 11-0 since 2010.
Wow. Yeah, they do deserve it then.
Yeah, first year head coach as well for
Oh,
TCU.
oh, then they do deserve it. First year head
So
coach can't do that shit, man.
if they can win the Big 12 championship game, well, first before that they have to beat one more team. But then if they can win the Big 12 championship game, they deserve to be in. My number 3. I hate this number 3 team. No, the number 3 team is USC. Now, I'll tell you why I hate them. They bought their head coach, Lincoln Riley. That son of a gun. This guy left Oklahoma for USC for $120 million. And it's one thing just to leave your job to go to another well-paying job. That's perfectly fine. Do what you need to do. But then he took all of the recruits that were going to sign to Oklahoma with him,
Oh, boy.
including his quarterback they had at Oklahoma, who started that season, Caleb Williams, to USC.
That's taking the whole staff to a different level.
Yeah, as well. So he completely took everything that made Oklahoma great to USC, and you see why the USC's turned around so quickly. This is why I don't want any comparison between Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly also did the same shit. He signed a multi-$100 million deal, but he didn't take recruits. He didn't try to steal away recruits. He didn't take a fucking quarterback, 5-star quarterback with him. He didn't take any player from Notre Dame with him. He left. He was gone. He only took one person from the coaching staff, and it was the special teams coach.
One compared to all.
So that just shows the difference. Also, LSU is 9-2, and if they win the next game, they'll be 10-2. LSU was projected to go 8-4 or 7-5 this season, and they beat Bama. They beat Ole Miss. They really have recovered. They've made multiple comebacks. They've shown a certain resiliency that you otherwise wouldn't have seen from the previous 2 years. So LSU is not going to make it. They have 2 losses. They lost to Florida State, and they lost to Tennessee, right? So they have 2 losses on their resume. Not a great look for LSU. But if the USC wins out, which I doubt, because let me tell you a little history. All right. Let me tell you a little something, Nilsson.
Oh, boy.
USC is in something known as the Pac-12. How long they'll be in there, who the heck knows? But what's important here is that the Pac-12 is known for taking out its top teams, and no one ends up making the college football playoffs. It happened to Utah last year. It happened to Oregon 2 years ago. It happened to Washington a few years ago. It happened to Oregon Any of the top teams that end up getting close to college football playoffs either lose in the final week of the season or lose in the Pac-12 championship game to a team they already beat earlier in the season.
Ooh.
It is a wonderful thing being the Pac-12 if you don't care about winning the big one.
I mean, at least you get close.
The Pac-12 is so competitive. There's only one team that really sticks out because of how bad they are. Every team in the Pac-12 is very close to one another, and I'm going to even explain further onto that if it will let me see the rankings here. Yeah, here we go.
There you go.
Okay. So this is the entire Pac-12, right? It's USC, Oregon, Washington, Utah, Oregon State, UCLA, Washington State, California, Arizona State, Colorado, and Stanford. Stanford and Colorado are the worst teams in the Pac-12. The conference record is 1-8 and 1-7 respectively.
Ow!
Arizona State and Arizona are also really, really dog crap. They're 2-6 even.
Well, that's
in
better
conference
than 1-8.
In conference play, they're Arizona State's 3-8. Arizona's 4-7. California was supposed to be somewhat good this season. They're not really that good. They're 2-6 in conference play, 4-7 overall. Washington State is surprisingly better than most people expected. They're 4-4 in conference play, 7-4 overall. Then UCLA, this is supposed to be a badass. This is supposed to be their year. This is supposed to be the year they take over the Pac-12. They're 5-3 in conference play, 8-3 overall. They're exactly where they were last season.
Well, perfectly good.
Oregon State's upset everyone. Everyone thought they were going to be dog crap. Turns out they're 5-3 in conference play, 8-3 overall, much better than you expect, and they're above UCLA. Utah is 6-2 in conference play, 8-3 overall. They just got demolished from any possible college football playoff. Even if they didn't lose to Florida earlier in the year, they were completely wrecked. Washington, yes, Washington, despite being 6-2 in conference play and 9-2 overall, has a better shot at making the current Pac-12 championship than Oregon, a team that they beat just a couple weeks ago, because Oregon was you saw my rankings. Oregon was number 4 for the longest time, and they got cannibalized by Washington. And now USC's in that same position, and all they have to do is beat Notre Dame, who's not in the Pac-12, but Notre Dame can still kick ass. They upset Clemson, and then they have to play either Oregon or Washington. And those are two teams that have been known to upset you all the time. Washington upset Oregon. Oregon upset Utah last 2 years. So we'll see if either one of those teams can play spoiler. But right now, I believe USC will be going in. My number 2. This one's sort of difficult because number 2 is solely based on the result of a game that happens this Saturday between Michigan and Ohio State. In actual life, right? Ohio State's ranked number 2, Michigan's ranked number 3, right? And if either team wins and then wins the Big Ten championship game, there's a great chance that they will, not even a great chance, they're confirmed to make it to the college football playoffs. But even if that team fucking loses, there's a great chance for them to go to the Big Ten, go to the conference playoff game, college football playoff game, right?
Oh.
That's how close they are in terms of talent, in terms of everything. I have Michigan winning that game, and I just think, because I'm all about fairness, USC and TCU will get in. We'll see how that works. And the number 1 is Georgia. Sorry, LSU. No way you're beating Georgia, I think. I have to always say I think.
Yeah, you think.
Because this team has found a way to shock me weekly. Because after they beat Bama, I thought, oh, this team's hot shit. They're going to blow out Arkansas. And then they lost to Arkansas. And then they struggled in the first quarter against UAB. And then they kind of blew them out in the second half. But not really. That 41-10 score is a lie. It felt like 28-10 for the longest time. And that's still a pretty hefty lead.
But not good enough for your standards, it seems.
But not good enough for the College Football Playoff Committee standards. Not even my standards. It's other people's standards. I don't give a shit.
Of course, because he wins a win.
And, yeah, I mean, Georgia has more impressive wins, even though they nearly lost to Missouri. Yeah, forget about that. But overall, this team still... This team, for LSU, should have been 2 years ago. Their entire team, besides a few players, their entire defense went to the NFL draft. That's 11 players and a couple of backups.
Wow.
That's 14 people.
14 fucking people. Jesus Christ.
And they replaced them all with more first rounders.
They're about to be taken over by NFL.
They went from the number 1 defense to the number 2 defense.
Uh-oh.
There was such a minimal drop. There's no difference.
Oh no,
they're
number
playing
2. It's so much worse.
They're playing sophomores and juniors, and those juniors are going to leave to the NFL draft. And then the sophomores who are sophomores this year are going to be juniors, and they're going to leave. That's going to be the cycle. But I want you to know, Georgia is a machine. And I'm pretty certain they're going to be the next Bama. They're going to be the Bama of the East for years to come, unless God strikes them down.
Let's see what happens. I mean, it seems like things are looking good for them right now.
Yes, that is my topic of conversation. That's my, that's right. That's it.
That's it. And next topic is not a long one because pretty much the next topic pretty much answers it. But it's one of those things of that we're not going to be here for a month. So we'll see how something ages like this in a month. How Watts is going to do. And, well, as you're about to see, I think Watts is not going to do jack shit. He did not play the entirety of last season. He has so much controversy behind him. I just don't know. The Browns are already 3-7. What in God's name can Watson do? He is not bringing them to the playoffs at all. Now it's just a matter of what he does. And honestly, I just don't think Watson's going to do jack shit this season. But next season, maybe.
I think this season it's less about what he will do and more how the team reacts. I think the team's going to have this extra boost of confidence now that Watson's there. I think he's going to make a couple of throws that will, because remember their schedule it's actually pretty light. They don't really face many good teams in the month of December besides Baltimore and I think Cincinnati one more time. So I think for the most part, Browns, I can see them sort of halfway turning around their season, but not fully. It's going to be like a not a full U-turn or not full like 180, but it's going to be like a 120, right? It's going to be like almost turn all the way around, but then they're going to suffer a couple defeats. That's going to be bad losses. It's going to be one of those things where, well, we'll see how they do next season.
Not bad.
Yeah, let's go into predictions for the next month.
Yep, and it took a while to do these, but they're done. Alright, we're going each week at a time, huh?
So week 12, because I did the week 11 too. No, but week 12, Bills Lions. I have the Bills winning.
I have Bills winning too.
Next week tradition. Giants Cowboys. I have the Giants winning in an upset.
Oh, I do as well. Oh, I thought we were just going one at a time here. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean we're sort of listing them off,
Oh yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah. I had Giants also winning, which brings it to 8-3. I literally did the fucking records too. I don't know if you did that or not.
I did the records too.
Okay, good.
I didn't. I have this. I have the overall records though. I didn't write it down like right next to it. I did the overall records at the end of end of this month.
Mine goes along with it, so.
So I have the Vikings beating the Patriots.
I do as well. Honestly, Patriots could. They both scored 3 points last week. Well, until the special teams play.
Both offenses only were able to muster a field goal.
Like, the Vikings are better. Sorry, but
maybe. Let's see. I have Dolphins beating the Texans. I don't think there needs to be much conversation on that.
Move on.
I have the Bengals beating the Titans.
I do too. What the fuck?
Wow, we are going. I'm going to have to change some predictions on paper.
What the hell?
Okay, this one I know we're going to have different. I have the Panthers beating the Broncos.
Yeah, I have Broncos beating the Panthers.
Yeah, I think the Panthers are going to score 17 points.
Well, that's automatic win.
Oh man. Okay. I have the Jets beating the Bears.
Actually, I see Bears put the Jets off guard and winning.
Oh, so you're gonna follow that coin the coin like there's the coin that's predicted all the Jets wins and losses so far accurately.
I used the coin for some of these. This was one of them.
I guess the coin knows more than we do. I have the Falcons beating the Commies.
No, I have the Commies beating the Falcons.
Now this is something where I feel like the Browns they have a certain energy in the air. It's at home. I feel like they're going to upset the Buccaneers with Jacoby Brissett.
I have Buccaneers winning because don't cross Tom Brady.
Cross them at every point.
I wish he'd be crossed, but this isn't our reality.
Okay, I have the Ravens beating the Jaguars.
Yep.
I have the Seahawks beating the Raiders.
Same.
I have the Chargers beating the Cardinals.
I do as well.
I have the 49ers beating the Saints. As I wrote down my notes here, this is where Dennis Allen gets fired, hopefully. So here's hoping.
I picked 49ers.
I have the Chiefs beating the Rams, and if this should have been such a topic 5 years ago.
Not anymore.
It would have been a topic last year.
At least Chiefs still look good.
The Rams lost to the fucking pitiful Saints. You don't deserve to win again.
Never again. Well, fortunately in my case. But no, I picked Chiefs. I would have picked Brains to pick the Chiefs. Fuck that.
Yeah, I have the Eagles beating the Packers.
Yep.
And finally, I have the Steelers beating the Colts.
Actually, the Colts to beat the Steelers. I don't think Colts are going to go on this full turnaround, but they're going to make their season not look too bad.
We'll see. Week 13, I have the Bills beating the Pats.
Yep.
I have the Packers beating the Bears.
Yeah, well, of course, Aaron Rodgers owns Bears.
I own you! I own you!
Literally the first thing I said. He owns your ass. It doesn't matter what the fuck record the Packers have.
It's quite comical. Okay, I also have the Steelers beating the Falcons, because fuck the Falcons.
I do as well.
I have the Vikings beating the Jets, and I think this game's going to be close. I think this game's going to get overtime, honestly.
I picked the Jets. I think they're going to shock the Vikings. Sorry, Vikings 2 blowout losses ain't looking good in my eyes.
True. I have the Lions beating the Jaguars.
Same.
biting kneecaps works, clearly.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
the Eagles defeating the Titans.
Yep.
So it would be something if the Titans beat the Eagles like how the Commanders did.
That'd be great, but, reality's off this point.
I have the Browns defeating the Texans because even without Deshaun Watson, they're blowing out the Texans.
Yeah. I don't even have Texas winning a game for the rest of the season.
I don't think I have them winning a game either.
They're just the jobber of NFL.
See, I have the Giants defeating the Commanders.
Same.
I have the Ravens defeating the Broncos.
Yeah.
I have the 49ers defeating the Dolphins.
Ooh, I picked Dolphins to beat 49ers.
I think rough and tough play of Kyle Shanahan's going to get the job done.
I think 49ers can be consistent, but also inconsistent at the same time. I don't know what they're going to be doing when they come to this game.
True. I have the Seahawks defeating the Rams.
I have Rams defeat the Seahawks just because, Rams, Seahawks, Rams are always going to win on them. No idea how, but They do.
I have the Chargers defeating the Raiders, and I put an asterisk here because I'm pretty certain the Chargers will find a way to blow this game.
I picked Chargers, but you're probably right.
I have the Bengals defeating the Chiefs in an upset. I think they're going to do it again. They're going to put their throat on Patrick Mahomes' neck. Wait a minute.
I pick it.
They're going to put their boot on Patrick Mahomes' throat, and they're going to scream neck.
Twice in this podcast, we both said something that probably didn't come out right.
We've been watching too many Scott Steiner promos.
I picked the Bengals, man. Fucking Joe Burrow's 2-0 against Patrick Mahomes. That's a great percent against Patrick Mahomes.
You see, Patrick Mahomes, usually in a normal fight, you've got 50% chance of winning. But I'm not normal. I'm a genetic freak.
Fucking Joe's gonna win.
The Buccaneers defeating the Saints. This game should be flexed, by the way.
Wait. We skipped a game here. Colts versus the Cowboys Sunday Night Football.
Colts.
Well, I can't. And I picked the Saints because they also find a way to beat the Buccaneers somehow. Even on prime time.
We'll find out. Okay, week 14, I have the Rams defeating the Raiders.
Yep.
Fair. You had to think about it for a second.
No, I said yep like once, but you didn't hear it, so I was like, yep.
Oh, no. Your microphone cut out. Okay, I have the Vikings defeating the Lions.
I picked the Lions. I believe the biting the kneecaps is going to turn them around.
I hope. See, I have the Ravens defeating the Steelers.
I have Steelers defeating the Ravens. This rivalry, man, doesn't matter what the records are, it's always going to be close like this.
That is true. Then I also have the Browns defeating the Bengals for the sole reason of the Browns always seem to beat the Bengals, even at half strength.
Clearly, I have not learned my lesson. I picked the Bengals.
I got abused the last few years watching Bengals games and them seeing they fucking lost to Baker Mayfield, a shitty Baker Mayfield,
and still is a shitty Baker Mayfield.
Let's see. I have the Bills defeating the Jets. Revenge tour.
Yep, this time Josh Allen's not gonna be playing like fucking ass.
See, I also have the Cowboys defeating the Texans because
hot take.
Hot take, you everybody. No, I have the Giants defeating the Eagles in their first matchup of the season.
I do as well, and if something tells me this game's gonna end in some crazy fashion and Giants are gonna celebrate, something tells me it's gonna happen.
It's that Giants home too, is in their MetLife. Ooh. I have the Titans defeating the Jaguars.
Yep.
I have the Dolphins defeating the Chargers.
I have Chargers defeating the Dolphins.
That's fair. I'm not going to complain there. I have the Seahawks defeating the Panthers in a playoff rematch from 8 years ago.
Imagine that's how they hype up this game.
There's two teams that have no rosters, no players that fit each other from 8 years ago go at it today.
But what a rematch!
Except for Pete Carroll.
Oh yeah, Pete.
He's the only person from that game that is still there.
Holy shit! It shows how crazy the NFL is.
Pete Carroll has outlasted Russell Wilson.
He's not gonna get revenge. He beat the Panthers, so now this is just kind of burying
him stepping on their throat.
Pete's gonna do it, man. Okay.
I have the 49ers defeating the Buccaneers. I believe in Kyle Shanahan.
Same here. I do too. Kyle.
I have the Chiefs defeating the Broncos.
Can't believe that's on fucking Sunday Football. Yeah, I picked Chiefs.
And then I also have the Patriots defeating the Cards.
Yep.
Week 15 now. 49ers, I have them defeating the Seahawks.
I have Seahawks
Upset.
defeating the 49ers.
Not so upset.
Not so upset.
I have the Bills going on their revenge tour first full circle and defeating the Dolphins.
Same here.
I have the Vikings defeating the Colts, though I would love it if chaos were to happen.
Same, but logically, Vikings win. Falcons and Saints, and I pick Falcons because I learned my lesson to never pick Saints again.
Traitor. Okay, I picked the Giants over the Commanders because I believe the Commanders are going to lose to the Giants, go on bye a week, and then lose to the Giants again.
Oof, I think the opposite. I think Commanders are going to upset the Giants. I believe in the Heineke train.
See, I have the Browns upsetting the Ravens. This is where I believe the mid-season turnaround is at the very least believable. I think there's going to be an upset. There's going to be lots of things. Oh, yeah, we totally forget that Deshaun Watson did all that horrible stuff. He's the new Big Ben.
Oh!
But then, yeah, But, then I think, as we're going to see through my predictions, I think the Browns are going to have a hard dose of reality.
I pick Ravens.
Browns.
They're already hitting that reality for me.
True. I have the Eagles defeating the Bears.
Yeah. I don't think anybody has Bears beating the Eagles, but...
I have the Jets defeating the Lions in the most intense matchup of all time. We have Robert Salas running up the stadiums and Dan Campbell biting kneecaps.
Jets. It's going to be a fun game.
Oh, yeah. I have the Steelers defeating the Panthers.
I do as well.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Cowboys defeating the Jaguars.
Yep.
Broncos defeating the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Chargers defeating the Titans.
I have Titans defeating the Chargers because Derrick Henry's going to kill us.
I have the Bengals defeating the Buccaneers because Joe Burrow. He's got the burr, right? He's Joe Burr, right? So,
unfortunately, I picked the Buccaneers. Don't cross Brady.
I have the Patriots. Wait, Bucks Patriots. Yeah. I have the Patriots defeating the Raiders.
Yeah, looks like a shitty game.
And then I have the Packers defeating the Rams.
I mean, yeah. This game was supposed to be they have to flex this game. Originally, this was like one of the hyped games of the season. It's...
Oh, no one gives a crap.
For me, they're both going to be 5-8 going into the game.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
we see. I have the Jets defeating the Jaguars. It's chaos.
Chaos? The fuck?
Yeah, chaos. People might predict the Jaguars beat the Jets, but it's not going to happen. The Jets will reign supreme.
I can see what you mean.
Who are you going to pick?
Oh, I said I see what you mean. I picked the Jets.
Oh! I thought you were going against me.
No, I'm not picking the Jaguars over the Jets. Fuck that.
I have the Ravens over the Falcons.
Yep. David Lions.
I have the Lions. over the Panthers.
Now this one should be interesting. I have the Seahawks going over the Chiefs.
Chaos.
Seahawks
going over the Chiefs.
Oof. I picked the Browns to beat the Saints because fuck you.
I picked the Browns to beat the Saints because fuck me.
And I picked Titans.
Titans.
Bengals.
I have the Bengals, Vikings beating the Giants.
Vikings. Sorry, Giants.
Yeah. Then Bills. Bills.
Bears. No, Bills, yeah.
Now I have the Commies defeating the 49ers in an upset.
Same.
Yeah. We have the same idea there. I have the Cowboys defeating the Eagles, mainly because Dak will lead the Cowboys to a comeback victory.
I just think because Cowboys beat the Eagles. It's the division, man. Come on. I have Cowboys.
I have the Raiders defeating the Steelers.
I have Steelers winning.
I have the Dolphins beating the Packers.
Same here.
I have the Rams beating the Broncos.
Yep. And this game looks really pointless, too.
Yeah, it does. I have the Buccaneers defeating the Cardinals.
Yeah, I picked Buccaneers, and my God, another bad primetime game.
Chargers versus Colts, baby. I picked Chargers.
I picked Chargers, but we know that's not gonna fucking happen.
0-2 in primetime.
Yay!
Most your games are entertaining. No, you beat the Broncos on Monday Night Football, so 1-2 in primetime.
That's not impressive at all.
Okay, then now week 17, Cowboys versus Titans. I'm going for the Cowboys.
Oh, whoops! I put Cowboys versus Colts. Hold on. What the hell? I picked the Cowboys to defeat the Titans.
Okay, then Ravens versus Steelers. I think the Ravens will beat the Steelers because Ravens going to get Lamar his money.
This game is going to be awesome. It's going to be the 11-4 Ravens versus the 7-8 Steelers. Steelers have to win this game to avoid a losing record. It's going to be one of the craziest games of the year, even though it's going to be pretty meaningless for the Steelers. I have Ravens officially giving Mike Tomlin his first losing season, really building on this Raven and Steelers rivalry even further than it already has gone. Oh, yeah.
I mean, the NFL script gods are probably going to do that.
I scripted this. It better happen.
Okay, then I have the Cardinals defeating the Falcons because fuck the city of Atlanta.
Fuck both cities. Cardinals.
I have Dolphins beating the Patriots because they always seem to beat them in New England.
Yeah, Dolphins. Well, at one point it was Miami.
At one point. I have the Eagles beating the Saints because...
They always do. So, Eagles.
Yeah, then I have the Colts defeating the Giants in an upset. Jeff Saturday gets his Sunday.
I can't... Giants defeat the Colts. That's nice.
You know, two people that need to meet: Jeff Saturday and Ruby Sunday.
Oh.
We've never seen them in the same room together.
And it's Mrs. Saturday and Sunday. Mr. and Mrs. Saturday Sunday. There we go. Whoops.
There we go. Oh, that age gap though.
Oh yeah, it's a bit big, but you know, comedy.
Just like Saturday. Okay, so next, by the way, I wasn't talking about what you think I was talking about. I was talking about because he's an offensive lineman. They're usually very massive.
Yeah, of course. I know what you're talking about.
Of course. I'm very respectable.
Yeah, you're
Because
respectable.
I have the Buccaneers defeating the Panthers because you can't. It's sort of like the situation of fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, fuck
you. Buccaneers.
Seems like we were taught the same philosophy.
Yep.
I have the Chiefs defeating the Broncos because Chiefs.
Chiefs are gonna win. It's so easy.
I have the Bears paying back the Lions for a receipt that they got from biting their kneecap.
I pick Lions because Bears deserve nothing but pain.
I have the Commies defeating the Browns.
I do as well because fucking Browns deserve pain too.
I have the Jaguars over the Texans. I mean, come on, let's be real here.
3-12 versus 1-13-1. What a fucking game of
What a blast!
fucking Jaguars.
Game of the year. Mention that does turn out to be the game of the year, though.
It's gonna have to be. They're gonna offset their suckiness. They have to.
Yeah, I have the 49ers beating the Raiders.
Yep, same. It's gonna be like 2014. You know, kind of like Panthers and Seahawks.
I have Seahawks defeating the Jets.
I have Jets pulling off an upset, getting their 10th win of the season. It feels like 2015 all over again for the Jets. I believe in the Jet train, or the Jet.
I have the Packers defeating the Vikings.
I think Vikings to win because, yeah.
I have the Chargers defeating the Rams in the battle for Los Angeles.
I pick Chargers, but again, I ask why.
True. And finally, I have the Bills beating the Bengals because, let's be honest, the Bills would have beaten the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. They're going to do it here.
I pick Bengals to win for hope.
Now, let me tell you my AFC East rankings, and this will tell you his. So, I have the Dolphins at 11-5.
Let's see. Well, actually, you can see it on my screen anyways.
True, I have the Dolphins at 11-5, Jets at 9-7, Bills at 13-3, and Patriots at 8-8.
Not bad. Yeah, let me pull up the tab.
And then for the AFC West, I have the Chiefs at 12-4, Chargers at 10-6, Broncos at 5-11, and Raiders at 3-13.
Yeah, we'll kind of have the same on that.
AFC North, I have the Ravens at 12-4, Bengals at 10-6, Browns at 8-8, and Steelers at 6-10. AFC South, I have the Titans at 8-8. I have the Colts at 6-9-1, the Jaguars at 4-12, and the Texans at 1-14-1.
Oof.
Now for the NFC side, on the NFC East, I have the Eagles at 13-3, the Cowboys, the Giants at 11-5, the Cowboys at 11-5, and the Commanders at 8-8. Then for the NFC West, I have the 49ers at 11-5, the Seahawks at 11-5, the Cardinals at 5-11, and the Rams at 5-11. Perfectly balanced.
As all things should be.
See, for the NFC North, I have the Vikings at 13-3, I have the Packers at 7-9, the Lions at 6-10, and the Bears at 4-12. And for the NFC South, I have the Buccaneers at 8-8, the Falcons at 6-10, the Saints at 5-11, and the Panthers at 4-12.
And you can see that next to mine. That's already been there.
Yeah, you pussy.
I got it. Extra work done.
Oh, okay, that ends this off.
It does.
I see you next month.
Bye, people.